Bloomberg has learned that China's LONGi Green Energy Technology plans to cut as much as 30% of its workforce. The company denies that, saying around 5% of roles will be affected. Let's get to our Dan Murtaugh, our Asia energy reporter, joining us now more on this scoop. Just tell us a bit more about what your team is learning about this story here, Dan.
Yeah, well, this has been a remarkable turnaround for the world's largest solar manufacturer. When it listed in the Shanghai Stock Exchange in 2012, it had about 4,000 employees, and it just grew and grew and grew as the industry expanded. And at its peak last year, it had about 80,000 employees. And now they're planning on cutting thousands. What we've been told by people who've been briefed by the management is the total layoffs could amount to as many as 30% of its peak workforce. It's already tried cost-cutting measures such as canceling free afternoon tea breaks and canceling free coffee at its Shanghai office. And so they're definitely trying to rein in costs. This is, to be clear, not a company that's on the brink. It has a massive cash and cash equivalents portfolio, according to its last financial filing. It's more of a sign of the overall struggles in the industry right now. Solar panel costs have fallen amid massive factory excess capacity, mostly here in China. And so while costs are low, companies are having to tighten their belt and buckle down to be able to make it through this period. But in the long term, most of these guys see a really bright future for solar. They want to be around for it, but they're just ready for a period, maybe this year, maybe the next 2 years, of really, really intense competition, lower profits, possible, mergers and bankruptcies coming up, and they're just looking to survive it.
Dan, so if the biggest one is going this route, and I know they're pushing back a little bit, of course, on the number, can and should we expect other players in the industry to also take this route of cutting costs when it comes to staffing?
Yeah. I think every company is going to be different on how much they've expanded, but across the industry, we've definitely seen that there's been a surge in capacity. The last that Bloomberg NEF, our wonderful analysis team, has looked at it. We're looking at global factories of nearly 1,000 gigawatts of capacity, and the world installed 441 gigawatts last year. Maybe we'll do more than 500 this year, which is incredible numbers compared to just a few years ago when it was just around 100. But at the same time, there's clearly too much capacity, and so some of this is going to have to be weeded out. Whether it's big companies like LONGi laying off people and maybe closing some older, outdated factories, or smaller companies that aren't able to take the shrinking margins, having to get out altogether. One way or another, there's going to be a reckoning throughout this year.